That's the fourth week of IPL done and dusted, and here we are on a Sunday morning talking about the week. Hi Srinath, hi Akshay, where is punctuality, boys?
It's right here.
It's
We
the
joined in when you sent your first message.
It's
Yeah.
the first week where we've been late. But yeah, it's been an interesting 4 weeks in the IPL. We'll wait for a bit before
Oh,
a
this is the
handful of
third week.
people. Oh yeah, third
Yeah.
week, sorry. Today's the fourth week of this well. Oh sorry. The third week
Yeah.
of the IPL is done and dusted.
Hmm.
And here we are talking about the IPL. We'll wait for a little bit before some of us join in.
Yo.
Neural hacks with Vasant. Hi Star Kids. Hi, yes. Why late today?
Life.
Just work.
Yeah.
Got late. We got late setting this up, and then there was a glitch.
Yeah. Guys, definitely like this stream so that it can be pushed out to more people
Yes.
and share it with your friends.
Yes.
That will help out a lot actually.
If you guys are joining in for the first time, we have a lot of segments. We talk about the strengths and weaknesses of every IPL team. And then we have a lot of other segments. We have a crazy stat file. We have a technical breakdown. We have the young performer of the week, top performers of the week, which I don't think we have asked you guys. But hey, Danny, we're so back, baby. Oh, look at that enthusiasm. Good morning. Maybe late because tired of being excited due to Abhishek's snort. Could be one of them. Anikesh, hi. It's great to see some of you guys here. Always love that. Appreciate that a lot. Hi, welcome back, chat. Welcome back, chat. Hi, Abhishek. It's great to see
What's up?
some of you guys here. A lot of either I don't remember the names.
Some new names for sure.
Yeah, okay, fine.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me. Shrikant. Hey, Shrikant.
And some old names too.
Yeah, I was wondering where you were at. Hi, Sanjay.
What's up?
All right, we'll wait for a minute and then we'll start and then we'll talk about the IPL teams. I cannot wait to get started with the IPL teams that I have to talk about. Vote for Rahul's comeback. Oh yeah, you could actually. That's the entire title. We could have a chat about that.
Yeah, that'll be a good chat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't know if my internet's gone. Okay, because it suddenly said no data. I panicked. I'm not a new name. No, Akshay.
Akshay, we
you're
know.
not a new name. I'm the diehard SRH fan, by the way.
Oh, that explains it.
Yeah, we will talk about SRH. We will talk about. There's a technical breakdown stuff too related to it. Kaushik and Akshara. CSK finished. Srinath. Great cricketers. Saurabh Pant and Robin Uthappa and Jared Kimber collabs are fun. Yeah, that's true. All of these collabs are fun. We are not famous enough to
We'll
be
join them
any
someday.
of them. PBK is going to end up at 6 at the end of the season again.
That is a
Let's
bold
talk
take.
about
Yeah.
that. Now that we're talking about the points table, let's go to the points table actually. Delhi Capitals remain
On top.
the only team not
Beaten,
lost a
yeah.
match, but the only team who has actually played only 4 matches.
Yeah.
Then we have Gujarat Titans, Lucknow Super Giants, Kolkata Knight Riders. As compared to last year where we have Chennai and Mumbai and SRH and Rajasthan in the top, below, bottom 4. Which is quite sad for those fans, but the top 4 look exciting. RCB, I think it's the first week where they're out of the top 4,
Yeah.
but that's also because of the team, like other results, not because RCB have done particularly badly. They have, however, lost at home twice, which is the only 2 losses that have come in their name. So that is interesting.
Yeah.
And then Punjab, that's why you said they're finishing in the 6th position again. And Rajasthan Royals. Sunrisers, yeah, a good win for them yesterday after 4 consecutive losses, which is good to see. But let's start with the team analysis and let's start with the Mumbai Indians. Mumbai Indians played 1 game this week and they lost that 1 game. A positive for them would be Jasprit Bumrah. He was the only bowler in that match for the Mumbai Indians to have a single-digit economy. He had an economy of about 7.2 by the end of 4 overs. It was great to see him back. He bowled in the power play, he bowled at the death, he bowled in the middle phase. He did everything Bumrah is supposed to do. And I thought he bowled well for someone who's making a comeback. But even if you take out the comeback for a second, for someone who's been out of cricket for a while, the first ball he bowled was touching the 140s. He was always above the 135s. Every time he bowled quick, which was good to see. That is what I was apprehensive about, him making a comeback, because the last time he came back from an injury, he did take a little while against Ireland, if you guys remember, in the international circuit. His pace wasn't right up there, but this time around, a lot of people were worried about is he being rushed back, including us, Because as much as, yeah, sure, he's good for the IPL and all of that, we want him in the Indian squad. But to see him back and bowling full pace, that was extremely good to see. And Hardik Pandya with the ball again, and I know he gave away 11 odd runs, but he did get those 2 wickets. He did get those wickets. He got Virat Kohli out, if I remember correctly. But yeah, he did get those crucial wickets, and Hardik Pandya continuing to do what he's doing best. I mean, even if he wasn't doing well, I would have said he's a strength, because we made a whole video about him on Friday.
Check
So
it
if
out.
you guys haven't checked that out, do check that out. Talking about the weaknesses, I feel like when I talk about Mumbai Indians and CSK, which we will come to, I feel like I'm talking about the same thing again and again. Wickets in the power play. Trent Bolt managed to only get 1 wicket in the power play. Trent Bolt and Deepak Chahar against RCB only took 1 wicket in the power play. Now I think this is 6 wickets in total in all the matches that they've played, and they took 4 in one match against KKR. Again, so wickets in the power play still a concern for them. The top order with the bat still a concern for them. Ryan Rickelton and Rohit Sharma still not firing. Rohit Sharma hasn't been firing at all. And then we come to the positions that they're playing in, the batters in the middle. That's Tilak Verma and Suryakumar Yadav. We've talked about all of this in the Friday video, so if you haven't checked that out, please go check that out, because it's more in depth and more in terms of numbers. But yeah, Tilak Verma being the best batter, batting at number 5, makes absolute no sense for us. Suryakumar Yadav 2 batting at number 4. If for the Indian team you're batting at number 3 and number 4, why not do the same thing for the franchise team? If you're so hell-bent on playing Will Jacks, Ryan Rickelton and Rohit Sharma, ask one of them to adapt, and not Tilak Verma and Suryakumar Yadav when you know they're scoring runs to begin with. But yeah, those are the strengths and weaknesses of the Mumbai Indians.
Cool. Coming to the Rajasthan Royals, they had just one match this week, which they unfortunately lost to the Gujarat Titans. Couple of strengths that came out was obviously Jofra Archer. He's been in good form since I want to say the third game of the IPL for Rajasthan Royals. And that was also evident in the spell that he bowled against Gujarat, where he had the openers dancing a fair bit. 4 overs, 1 for 30. So good stuff from Jofra. Shimran Hetmyer also got runs. He got 52, so that's something that will bode well for the Rajasthan Royals. But those are the only two things that sort of stood out this week for them in terms of strengths. Coming to the weaknesses, I think this has been spoken about in pretty much all the lives we've done, where we've talked about how the spinners, while they have been getting wickets, they have been leaking a lot of runs. Like Tikshna is consistently going for 45-50 runs in each game in the 4 overs that he's bowling, which is not ideal, especially when you know that, for example, today's game, RCB versus RR, is going to be at Savai Man Singh, where you already know that it's a batting pitch, so you want your spinners to be able to step up because the paces are going to be easier to take on. So that's one thing. One thing that Ashwin's actually spoken about in a reel also is Yashasvi Jaiswal's form, and his dot ball percentage in power plays, I want to say, has been 53%. So that's something that the Rajasthan Royals will want to look at. Their top 3 are not firing consistently. They've been extremely hot and cold. Nitish Rana has had 2 knocks. That's about it. And for Sanju Samson, he's getting a start almost every second game. He's getting that 28-30 odd. But he's not able to convert that into a bigger score that they'll definitely want to do. And Jaiswal, I think, is the main cause of concern here, because if Jaiswal is not getting runs, he's an Indian player who's been getting runs across formats. If he's not able to do that through strike rotation when he's under pressure, it is completely messing up Rajasthan Royals' momentum at the start of the innings. But yeah, that's about it.
From Rajasthan Royals, we go to the Chennai Super Kings, a team that I love talking about so much. To be fair, they've played I don't know why I said to be fair, they played 2 matches this week, lost 2 matches. But to be fair, something that was a concern is the middle order. Shivam Dubey hadn't scored any runs until this week, whereas in this week he did score some runs. He scored a total of 73 runs with an average of 36, striking at 131. The striking at 131 is important because that is the team's strike rate anyway. So if a batter is scoring the team's strike rate, good on them. Something that is a positive, though, is Noor Ahmed continuing to do well, and Jadeja in one of the games did extremely well. Didn't finish his overs, but only gave away 6 runs per over. So that was, I apologize for that. That's my fault. But that was great to see. Jadeja doing well in T20 format in itself is a surprise sometimes with the ball. But the fact that he is doing well, he did well in that first game. Good on him. Talking about the weaknesses, of course, the most obvious weakness this week and every other week going forward would be the absence of Rituraj Gaikwad. The fact that he was the only one striking at 150 for the Chennai Super Kings, the only one scoring. And now that he's gone, it was reflected in that second game where the Chennai Super Kings struggled to even score 100 runs. Interestingly, even with Ruturaj Gaikwad in the side, the strike rate of all top six batters in the Chennai Super Kings was around 130. Now without him, it's 126, and this has to be the weakest batting lineup in this IPL so far. And yeah, there's not much to.
Is your mic muted?
Oh yeah, that's
Oh.
that is true. I'm muting my. What? I, I apologize. It's not a mic issue. I muted my mic, and here we are. Yeah.
Mic.
Yeah, dude.
Guys, we're coming back.
Uh, what a pain. I don't know if you heard any of that, but if you guys did hear, I'm sure there was something heard from that mic. But yeah, I was talking about Chennai Super Kings and the batting issues and the absence of Ruturaj Gaikwad. I'm not gonna talk about it again. What a shame. But yeah, I was just talking about the strike rate. With Ruturaj Gaikwad, the team strike rate was 130. The top six batters of the Chennai Super Kings. Without him, it's 126. The batting struggle continues. I feel like they will continue to struggle to get 100 almost every other game. The thing was, Dhoni at the toss did talk about how, like, their opening pair or the top order are the kind of batters who won't hit a lot of sixes but a lot of boundaries, and that in itself shows a lot of stubbornness from the management to not even try changing their style. And that is the story of the Chennai Super Kings. And I'm sorry about the mic issue. I forgot I muted it.
Dude, before I start talking about the Sunrisers, I have to read this comment out. Shrikant says, I mean, CSK is playing with lesser intent than Legends League cricketers, which is honestly, you're not too far away from the truth. But yeah, Sunrisers Hyderabad played a couple of games this week, 1 win, 1 loss. Not much about the loss. I think we already spoke about how the kind of cricket that Sunrisers has been playing, the same fashion of cricket, was kind of backfiring for them until they came to the Uppal last night, where I think that's what everyone wants to talk about anyways. Travis said getting 66 of 37, but the standout, Abhishek Sharma, getting 141 of just 55 deliveries. There's also a lot of crazy stats with the innings that happened last night, which we will get to later on. But I think these are the strengths with the bat. Obviously, the fact that they were able to come back on at the Uppal surface, where we know it's very easy to score runs, but at least they stepped up and chased 245, which is not an easy feat by any means. So that's one thing. Coming to the bowling, the only plus point I think has been Zishan Ansari. He has generally been more economical than all of the other bowlers. He might not be getting as many wickets, but he's the only one that is actually sort of making any kind of impact, is what I want to say. And hopefully for the Sunrisers Hyderabad and some of you fans who are there, the game last night might act as somewhat of a catalyst for them mid-season to be able to pick up momentum and get into the IPL, into the top four. That's one thing. But coming to the weaknesses, something already touched upon is slam bam cricket not necessarily working for them. If they can continue doing this at the Uppal and win every game from here, well and good, but it does not seem like this is working for them outside. Their top three, if one of them is able to carry on the innings, at least bat till the 10th or 12th over, that's great signs, but that's not been happening consistently. So if they can sort that out, then that's great for them. Apart from that, the only other things that SRH has an issue with is the bowlers. All of their bowlers have been so expensive. Cummins has been, I would want to say, a little more economical. He's got wickets in the middle, but he also isn't making much of an impact. And we also had a bunch of comments actually talking about how they're not happy with Cummins' performance. I'm assuming those are all Sunrisers fans. But yeah, Shami last night going for 75, which has been his most expensive spell, going for 4 sixes against Stoinis. And it just, like, every match you're seeing a new bowler coming in there. Last night they used 8 bowlers in the game, which just shows how confused they are. And honestly, if they want to sort out their campaign, they have to look at their batting, look at their bowling, because their batting will eventually click. So yeah.
Let's go from the Sunrisers Hyderabad to the Lucknow Super Giants. They have had a good week. They've played 2 matches. For a team that gets bashed a lot, they've played 2 matches, won 2 matches. And I think they get bashed a lot because of the owner, of course, but also because of Rishabh Pant, which we will come to. But let's talk about the strengths. The top 4-5 batters, apart from Rishabh Pant, have been performing extremely well. Aiden Markram, Ayush Badoni, Nicholas Puran has been in the form of his life. There is no match where he doesn't come out and dominate. Even if he scores 20, 30 odd runs, he's dominating from ball one. And it is so good to see, because a batter like him with the caliber that he has, it's just so good to watch as a fan for a batter like him to come out and just attack from ball one, because he knows he can dominate. He's not just swinging his bat, he is genuinely dominating. It's like the 2016 Virat Kohli-esque dominance. I'm not saying that that's how many runs he's scoring, but just the dominance factor is what Nicholas Puran is able to do. And then, yeah, of course, Shardul Thakur has been expensive, but he, unlike the week before, he did take wickets this week, which is good. Digvesh Rathi has come into play. Unfortunate for him, there has been a lot of drop catches in his over, and the fielding hasn't been great from the LSG side overall anyways. But he has been doing well. And something I do want to point out is Ravi Bishnoi, for someone who's been very, very expensive in the last couple of weeks, he continues to be expensive, but has also been taking wickets. Just 3 wickets, but he has been taking it. So it's one positive for him, because he's a spinner that's in and around the Indian circuit. And for him to come back to the Indian squad and to play well and all of that, he will need to do well in this IPL. And he's been struggling so far. Not as bad as Chahal, but that's a whole other topic.
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
he has been, he took a couple of wickets this week, which good for him. And like if you talk about LSG's batting, I'm sorry I have to jump back to that, but talk about the batting. They only lost 3 and 4 wickets respectively in the 2 matches, which just shows the strength and prowess in the top order. And as much as we talk about the Gujarat Titans top order, even LSG top order is something to look out for. Talking about the weaknesses, of course, I have to come back to the captain. He dropped a catch. I didn't think his captaincy was great in terms of field placements, and that's something the commentators did talk about. His bowling options, he did what he could with it, but Rishabh Pant with the bat has been horrible. He batted number 3 in one of the first game this week, and in the last game where Mitchell Marsh wasn't available, he opened the batting and just struggled throughout. And it is sad to see, but it's almost like a reality check every time he comes out to bat in a T20 format. I can't say it's him being out of form, because I don't know the last time he did well in the T20 format. So it's just Rishabh Pant in the T20 format. It's just sad to see at this point. And Akashdeep, for a bowler like Akashdeep, who's done extremely well in the last year for the Indian team in the Test squad, he's just been all over the place in the T20 format. Doesn't stick with the line and length. To be fair, if he just sticks to the Test match line and length, he might get more results than what he's doing right now, because right now he's all over the place, he's all over the pitch, and it's not the Akashdeep we know from the Test match arena. And I feel like that is what we would want to see more. If we can't be more consistent, do what he does in the Test match, and I feel like that's what people will need to tell him more.
Cool. Moving to the Punjab Kings. Before that, Ninad is joining after a long time. Welcome back, Ninad. Shreyas, welcome back. Guys, definitely like this stream so that it gets pushed out. We're not getting the numbers that we used to. We're a little sad about that. But yeah, moving to the Punjab Kings. 1 win and 1 loss this week. The loss obviously came last night against the Sunrisers. But to talk about the positives, and there have been a lot of positives for the Punjab Kings this week, you have to talk about Priyansh Arya. He's got 103 of 42 and 36 of 13. He's basically pulling an Abhishek Sharma from last season for this season for the Punjab Kings. So that is great for the Punjab Kings. Shashank Singh got a 52, and Shreyas Iyer, who did get a couple of low scores, again stepped up with 82 of 36 last night. Stoinis also came in getting 34 of just 11. So their entire batting unit, barring Glenn Maxwell, has been doing well for them. And Maxwell's been doing well with the ball. So I guess it's okay. It works out for now. But yeah, Arshdeep once again has been a strength. He's not picked up wickets, but he's also not leaked too many runs. And especially in a game last night where everybody went for runs, Arshdeep kind of did all right. So that's on their strengths. It's been the same. Arshdeep has been the leader of that attack. Their batsmen have been doing well. Glenn Maxwell has chipped in with a few wickets. But coming to the weaknesses, I don't know how serious Loki Ferguson's injury is. But if he's out of contention for the rest of the IPL or for a few games, then that's slightly panic buttons for the Punjab Kings, because he was one of the bowlers who was doing well, mixing his pace up, identifying which pitches to bowl the cutters on, being effective, getting the wickets in the middle. And so that might be a huge blow for them. Apart from that, Chahal has just not looked like himself. He didn't even get to bowl his full quota of overs in one of the games. And yesterday also, even when he bowled his full quota, he went for quite a few runs. And so honestly, that's about it. Like, It's been the same thing since the start of the IPL, where Chahal has been struggling. And it's not yet a cause of concern because Punjab are still winning games. But when it's going to come down to those crunch situations and wanting to close down those while defending totals, Chahal is going to come in handy. So yeah.
Let's go from the Punjab Kings to the Gujarat Titans. I've seen a couple of questions in the chat. We will take that once we just get through the team stuff. But yeah, let's talk about the Gujarat Titans. They have played 2 matches. They've won one, lost one. Their strengths, and they have quite a few. The top order, of course, is their strength, and they've been continuing to score a lot of runs. Shubman Gill in the last match, Sai Sudarshan almost every match. Joss Butler in the first match this week. They've all scored a lot of runs. Their weakness, which I will come to, is the middle order. But even with the ball, they have so many strengths. Think about this. I think, if I'm not wrong, and I might be completely wrong, so let's not say that. I was going to say they might be the only team where they have three bowlers in the squad taking 10 wickets. And they all have such good economy rates. Prasidh Krishna, in fact, has an economy rate of 6.9 in this IPL, taking 10 wickets, being the highest wicket taker in the Gujarat Titans team. 6.9 is insane, especially in this IPL where a lot of bowlers are easily going for 8 and 9 runs per over, and that would be considered decent. For Prasidh Krishna to just concede 6.9, it's the comeback that no one would have expected from him. He's given a certain role to bowl in the middle phase of the match, and he's doing that so very well, and I don't think a lot of people expected that from him. He's executing a lot of his slower balls, a lot of his Yorkers well. He's also upped his pace a little bit, and that's just good to see, just not just for Prasidh Krishna, but for Indian cricket as a whole. Because you can give him this certain role, and he will do that well. Also because he's picking up wickets. And then you have Sai Kishore and Mohammad Siraj taking 10 wickets apiece with an economy of 8.4 and 8.5 respectively. Like I said, 8 runs per over in this IPL almost looks like a decent thing to do. And for Sai Kishore and Siraj especially, after all the bashing that he's got, RCB not picking him being dropped from the team, the Indian team, and then him making a comeback. His first week was horrible for him. The first match was bad, actually. And then he's been fine ever since, picking up 10 wickets. You can't ask for a lot more, can you? Like, even for Rashid Khan, who's only picked up 2 wickets in this IPL, has an economy of 9.7. Yes, 9.7 is in the higher end, and it's not decent by any means, but it's okay. And for your top 3-4 bowlers to just have this much as an economy, you would know that as a bowling unit, you're doing very well. But then when we do come to the weakness, it is the middle order, and we have talked about this in the last couple of weeks. Sure, in the first game this week that they did win, their middle order did score, but in the second game, when Sai Sudarshan and Shubman Gill gave them a blistering start, the middle order just couldn't take off, and that's one of the reasons why they couldn't reach a high target and LSG could just power through a victory. That is something for the Gujarat Titans to keep in mind. The middle order will need to be as consistent as the top order, even if they're not getting many games, because there will be games and crunch situations where the top order may not perform and the middle order will need to step up. And will we see them step up? That's the important question.
Moving to one of the more loved franchises, Royal Challengers Bangalore. I can see a few questions. Keep them coming. We will take them at the end of this stream once we complete all of the team analysis. But yeah, moving to Royal Challengers Bangalore, they've got 1 win and 1 loss this week. Overall, they're at 3 wins now. At a decent spot, they're at 5th place. We already spoke about that. Strengths for them, I think Tim David and Jitesh Sharma have been finishing really well. Jitesh getting scores of 40 not out. That's the prominent one. Rajat Patidar obviously has been getting runs, another 64 of 32. He just comes in the middle and explodes, and it's possibly the best outcome they could have asked for once they made him captain, especially knowing that he's been doing well for the last couple of seasons. Apart from that, I think Devdutt got a few runs, got a 37 odd if I'm not wrong, and that augurs well for him. It's still not where he will want to be, but just the fact that he's got some runs means that this batting lineup is almost well-rounded, with all the batsmen getting some kind of scores moving into the business end of this tournament. Actually, not even business end, we are still just entering the midway phase. Apart from that, Bhuvneshwar Kumar has still been really good. Aswin might be doing a video on this soon, so watch out for that. But yeah, Bhuvneshwar Kumar getting 2 for 26 in his 4 overs, standout spell. Krunal Pandya in that game against Mumbai Indians getting 4 crucial wickets. So it's looked extremely good for RCB, but I think their biggest strength in this week has to be Suyash Sharma. He was struggling, he did drop a few catches, he wasn't bowling all that well, but in the last 2 matches that he's played, he's got figures of 0 for 32 in his 4 overs and 1 for 25, which I think is good signs. I think he's coming into his own. And it just takes a little bit of pressure off someone like a Krunal Pandya and also obviously Hazelwood and Bhuvneshwar Kumar. So the fact that he's starting to step up, and from here, if he starts getting wickets as well, getting into some sort of rhythm, that's going to be amazing for RCB. Coming to their weaknesses, the only bowler who needs to step up, and like honestly, that will just, guys, I have stopped. I'm back. Yeah, so I was saying the only thing that is lacking for RCB right now, I would say, is winning matches at home and Yash Dayal's performances. Yash Dayal has consistently not been good. He's been expensive, nor has he been getting wickets as such. If he gets wickets, I think this is probably one of the more well-rounded bowling attacks in the IPL. And I don't know, it's a little surprising to say that, but that has been the case. As to RCB winning at home, if they crack that, I don't know how they're going to crack that. They just haven't seemed to read the pitch right every time they've come to play at the Chinnaswamy. If they can just fix that or just be more competitive at home, I think these guys are going to have a good season. The voice crack.
Let's go from the RCB to the Delhi Capitals. They won one game, as in they played one game, won one game. They're the only team to not have lost a game. Positive, of course, KL Rahul at home in Chinnaswamy scoring those runs. It was incredible to watch. It was almost like the KL Rahul of 2017 is what I want to say.
Yeah,
17. And Tristan Stubbs, someone we had a lot of hopes from, hasn't been in the best of forms, but him staying not out with KL Rahul was very, very important for him and for the Delhi Capitals. He's done that very well. Of course, those are the batters. I feel like, sure, KL Rahul did well. Tristan Stubbs did well. Good on them. But something I do want to talk about, and I've talked about this almost every live because I don't think people are talking about him enough, is Kuldeep Yadav. In the 4 matches that he's played, he has an economy of 5.56 and has taken 8 wickets. For a spinner to have an economy of 5.5 and take wickets in just 4 matches, like, why aren't people talking about him enough is my question. Like, Kuldeep Yadav this season of the IPL has been so good. It's insane how good he's been. And people just aren't talking about him enough. He's been the best spinner in this IPL by a mile. If anything, he's been the best bowler in this IPL. And that might be a stretch for a lot of you, but he just simply has to be able to take wickets and to give less than 6 runs per over. Look at those numbers. Like, those are, I want to say goated numbers, but then we'll wait for the IPL to get over. But for now, they are goated numbers. And we'll just see how long this lasts, but hopefully for Kuldeep Yadav's sake, it lasts this entire season. Those are the strengths, but their weaknesses are quite glaring. Jake Fraser McGurk, again, except for the one game, even in the last game, I don't know what he was doing, hasn't been scoring a lot of runs. There are a couple of shots where you would look at him and hope, hey, like he's playing a good cricketing shot. He's getting a boundary. Hopefully he sticks with those good cricketing shots. Yes, a lot of people got out playing across the line in Chinnaswamy, but it's about time he performs. It's about time he scores runs. It's about time he plays good cricketing shots. What will be interesting is to see how long will they continue with him in the top order. How long are they going to give him chances? How long will they hope that he comes up and steps up and scores runs? I won't be surprised if he's dropped in the next game, but they've only played 4 matches, so we will see. Another weakness just this week is Akshar Patel. Not only did he give, 52 runs in the 4 overs that he bowled, he also didn't score runs. He didn't have the best of days as a player. As a captain, he's been doing well. 4 matches to win 4, he must be doing something right, so good on him. Yeah, but him with the bat and the ball this week, man didn't show up.
Lastly, moving to the Kolkata Knight Riders, they've also got 1 win and 1 loss in this week. Rahane has stepped up once again, getting 61 of 35. Venkatesh Iyer, interestingly got promoted up the order, came in at 3 or 4. He also got a crucial 45, so that's good. Rinku Singh is amongst the runs once again. He's been scoring runs in a couple of games now. And Rinku's scores were 38 not out of 15. I think that's the one that stood out for me. But apart from this, I think one of their players that has, obviously he's been stepping up for a lot of seasons, but the reason that KKR have been doing so well is the balance he brings is Sunil Narine. Obviously, he's got scores of 30 and 44, and he also got 3 for 13 in his 4 overs against CSK. As a franchise, You can't possibly ask for anything more from a player in this format. Sunil Narayan is giving you everything, and that is working wonders for KKR's balance. Apart from that, Varun Chakravarti has continued to remain consistent. Don't feel like a lot of people are talking about him, but his figures have been good. 4 overs, none for 31, and then 4 overs, 2 for 22 against CSK. So that's been good for him. Apart from that, Vaibhav Arora, he's not necessarily been getting the wickets, but even in games where KKR has been expensive, this man has been doing fairly well. He's been consistent. He's not leaked runs, which is the most important thing, especially because he's bowling with that new ball and he's trying to swing it up front. So that's a good thing. That's on all the strengths of KKR. Coming to the weaknesses, it's more of a hot and cold situation where Harshit Rana and Spencer Johnson have just one day they've turned up and the next day they've just been all over the place. If they can sort that out, this just beautifully rounds up the bowling attack, because now your Sunil Narayan and Varun Chakravarti obviously are doing well. Vaibhav Arora is in some sort of rhythm. If these two bowlers come to the party, you don't even have to move to your 6th and 7th bowling options. So yeah, that's it for KKR.
And that's it for all the IPL teams. Let's go to the segment Told You So, where we told you about what was going to happen even before the IPL started. What's the Told You So?
We told you that CSK don't have a single batter who has a strike rate of over 150
Since 2021.
since 2021 and in T20s, and this was going to be an issue
Yes.
in other grounds, but it's also been an issue in Chepauk, where we
Yes.
thought they might manage, but it's not been the case even there. And we got a lot of hate, guys. But it's just not worked for CSK. There's no batter in the top 6 who can potentially explode, and now with Gaikwad gone, who was their best batter, it's just it's like rock bottom for them. That we'll also get to a very interesting stat about CSK's rock bottom, but yeah, that's about it.
Yeah, that's the Told You So. Can we talk about Deepak Chahar? He has been the biggest flop of the season. Damn, the spelling of season was quite efficient, not gonna lie. The week's youngster. Who's the week's youngster, Praatibh?
We didn't have a poll this week because I was too lazy to send out a poll. But yeah, Priyansh Arya, I think undisputed. Jesus. Undisputed young performer of the week, getting 103 or 42. I wanted to put Abhishek Sharma's name, but then he's played for India. He's
Yeah.
fairly established. He's young, but I wanted to give it to Priyansh Arya, and I think you guys will agree with that. But yeah, what a coming of age knock for him. For an Indian to do it in his first season of the IPL, a big deal.
Yeah. Let's go from the youngster of the week to top performer of the week, and that is Abhishek Sharma.
Abhishek Sharma, yeah. 141 of 55.
Yeah, 141 of a strike rate of 256. Insane stuff.
Yeah.
We will talk about Abhishek Sharma in the technical stuff. We will come to that. But yeah, he's had a good week. He took out the note saying it's for this Orange Army and stuff.
Yeah.
It was good to see. It was good to see Abhishek Sharma score some runs. It felt like the 100 meant a lot to him, the way he celebrated the 100. Good on him. Good on him for scoring that 100. He's the top performer of the week for us. Let's talk about the crazy stat file.
All right, bringing you some really crazy stats. First one, obviously, it has to be Chennai Super Kings in our stat files every week because they're just breaking records. On the wrong side, though. CSK have lost 5 consecutive matches now. It's the first time ever in the history of the IPL that this has happened to the Chennai Super Kings. They've also lost 3 games back-to-back at their home venue, Chepauk. This is also a new first for them and a new low. And yeah, that's the first stat file. The second stat is on Abhishek Sharma's century last night. Obviously, a lot of records were shattered. This is the highest score for SRH. This is also the most number of runs someone has scored in boundaries for SRH. He's got 116 runs yesterday in just boundaries. And he also hit 10 sixes in that innings, which again is a record for Sunrisers Hyderabad in their IPL history.
Let's talk about Abhishek. So, technical takeaway, by the way. Let's talk about the technical takeaway. And let's talk about Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head. This is going to be a reel today. We might get a lot of hate for it or not. Never know. But something to think about is, right, Abhishek Sharma did score 141 runs. A lot of batters on their day do get very, very lucky with drop catches and all of that. I mean, I don't know how many drop catches Sachin Tendulkar might have had in his career to have the amount of scores that he has. That being said, one was a wicket, which was a no ball. One was almost a caught and then dropped. And Abhishek Sharma could have easily gotten out in his 20s or the 30s or the 40s yesterday. While Travis Head, even though he scored 60 and not the biggest of strike rates that we know him to score, I don't know if he scored 60 or 50.
67.
Yeah, 67, yeah. And might not have the biggest of strike rate. he looked more compact than Abhishek Sharma. Yes, Abhishek Sharma took the attack from the ball one, but something he will need to make sure he's looking after is a shot selection. The percentage of shots that he middles should be way higher than it is right now as compared to someone like a Travis Head. He can just learn from his partner. Travis Head essentially has the same batting style. They both want to attack from ball one. You saw Travis Head trying to hit a six in the second ball of the innings, not even a boundary. It's exactly what Abhishek Sharma is trying to do too, except the shot selection and the kind of shot and the kind of just bat flow Abhishek Sharma has. It almost feels like if it's not around the middle of the bat, he's probably going to get out because he's mistiming the ball. And that is something he will need to look after, and that's percentages. The percentage of shots that he plays, that he middles, versus the percentage of shots that he plays that he doesn't. Because at this point, I mean, of course, you would argue that a lot of batters, like most often, they don't middle the ball, but it's because of the way Abhishek Sharma goes about his batting. He will just need to take a step back. I'm not saying he needs to change his batting style, do what he does. I mean, he's scoring all these runs, but shot selection will be the key. He just can't swing at it. He can't just be monotonous in terms of one bat swing. He will need to think about how to go about swinging the bat if he wants to continue doing that, or the kind of shot he needs to play. That is something to think about.
On the technical takeaway, and this could be a good exercise for you guys if you're very knee deep into stats and some things you want to look at. So ESPN Cricinfo does this thing where they put out the best batters' control percentage, which is basically how well they've been able to strike the ball and how they've been able to middle it or control and all of that. And just look at it for batters like Sai Sudarshan or Shubman Gill or some of these others versus looking at it for Abhishek Sharma, for example. His control is 66%, which shows that there is some amount of fall shots, and that's where it ties into what Aswin spoke about percentage cricket, where you pick the right balls and everything. Because there was a game where Shubman Gill's control percent was 100, which is insane. And these are the things that possibly make a difference, because at a skill level, everyone's almost there. But what sets you apart is your percentages and how you're able to pick the right balls to attack. So just something for you guys to look at. It's very interesting that ESPN puts all of this out for free for us to look at.
True.
So, yeah.
Alright, no one still talks about Prasidh Krishna. I just spoke about Prasidh Krishna. I talked about him being in the international. So,
We'll take your questions now. I can see a few in the chat.
Why don't Punjab and most IPL teams start using Yorker against players like Abhishek Sharma and Travis Head? Slower balls and bounces just won't do the trick. Because I saw this. You guys were having a whole conversation about this. First of all, like someone said, I think it was Star Edits, Yorker is not the easiest ball to execute, right? Your argument is go practice. Understood. If you're only going to bowl Yorkers, then you become so predictable. And we saw Abhishek Sharma walk across, exposing all the stumps in the world and still getting sixes and boundaries. And as much as Yorker is still a very, very, very lethal delivery, and that is something bowlers should execute and practice, if you're only going to do that, it again just becomes easier for the batters. You can scoop it. You can do anything to it. You can maneuver the ball the way you want to because you know what's coming your way.
Yeah, the margin for error is too small. If your ball is slightly higher or slightly lower, it either becomes a half volley or it becomes a full toss, which is 3 runs. Yeah,
exactly what Srikanth said. You have to nail it, else you go to the cleaners. That's exactly what happens with the Yorker. It's, like Praatibh said, the margin of error is so small that it's like playing a cover drive. Like, you still get out playing a cover drive.
Yeah.
And imagine bowling a Yorker, 6 deliveries. Bumrah gets it wrong sometimes, so that should tell you something. CSK should start focusing on the next auction.
That's in 3 years' time, right?
I mean,
CSK
auction every year. The
mega auction, yeah. But more or less, this is the core they're stuck with. So it's going to be interesting. Yeah.
Sam is Chad. Mumbai Indians on paper is undoubtedly one of the best squads assembled, but they aren't performing as a unit. What do you think it would take to come together and perform in a unison and get some wins? I think it's simple. I think a couple of wickets in the power play. I think Trent Bolt and Deepak Chahar have to step up. We're going to talk about this. There's a video coming out on Tuesday talking about bowling in the power play and stuff. And I think we're talking about one of them. I'm not really sure. But it will be something we will talk about. I think just a couple more wickets in the power play and a couple more runs in the top order from the team. It's just that. It's just The two top people need to
Yeah.
perform. The two bowlers and the two batters. Once they start clicking, you're right. Mumbai Indians do look like a very, very strong squad on paper, and it's just about execution at this point.
True.
Chitwan, I feel like they could have tried a few leg cutters on Abhishek.
Interesting, but leg cutters would have been into his body, which he's anyways making room and playing everything to the leg side. Off cutters might have made more sense to induce an edge,
True.
is what I think. But yeah.
What can CSK do to turn the season around?
Uh,
Question. What can they do? With this, I think they should have a change in mindset to begin with. Dhoni in the toss, when he said, we don't hit sixes, we only hit boundaries, just caught me off guard because you can't be that stubborn. Try hitting those sixes. Try being more attacking. And I think that's what they need, a change in mindset. These batters are capable enough to hit those boundaries and sixes. They're just not.
I feel like with the way they're playing, they might as well start experimenting with the players. They have Overton who can come in and hit the long ball. So just probably get him as a pinch hitter when the ball is new. Something like just try something out of the box because the normal stuff isn't working for you anyways. And what's there to lose? You've already lost 5 games in a row. Might as well give it a shot.
Ganesh, that's a very solid question. On the knock that Abhishek Sharma batted, like the score that he scored, could he play the same shots when the wicket is too paced?
Nope.
Yeah.
He couldn't. And that's also why that's such a feature of SRH as a whole, is why they're so good at Uppal, but once they're out of the Uppal, it suddenly feels like a different ball game. Because for all of the shots where Abhishek Sharma is going to make room and try and scoop, if it's a two-pace pitch, then you cannot premeditate as much, because one ball is probably going to get stuck in the pitch, and then you're going to finish a shot, and then the ball is going to come. And the second time it's a normal pace, you might connect. So
Which team has impressed you the most this season? Well, that's a good question, actually. I don't want to say Delhi Capitals because on paper they look like a good squad. So Delhi Capitals is a very easy thing to say. I want to say even RCB, they have a good team on paper. They have a good team. So like
I think Punjab, even in the auction itself, I know they haven't won all of their games and all of that, but even in their auction, it was very smart buys. There were a lot of local players that they bought for the home ground. You have Nihal Vadera, Harpreet Brar, who hasn't even played a game yet, Prabhsimran Singh
so
at the
sad.
top. So from a perspective of assembling a team and then for Shreyas Iyer to be able to come in and make that team click as a unit, I think that's been impressive for me.
Yeah, true. This Rahul Tripathi is a very interesting case. He did very well opening the batting. Then he was made to bat in the middle in a couple of seasons, and then he just fell through. Akshay Krishnan, am I for choking despite having a good team? That's been the most impressive. Fair. What happened to Rahul Tripathi? Yeah, same. Oh yeah, Chitwan says, oops, I meant off cutters, left bias on my side.
Right,
Fair enough. So why is CSK not taking a replacement for Gaikwad? They can take Brevis. I mean, which is what? Yeah.
Rishikesh, thanks for the super chat.
Thank you so much. Who do you see breaking Virat's 973 record? First of all, if you send a super chat to us, I'd appreciate that a lot.
You can ask more questions. It's tough, dude. I don't think because it's a record and records are meant to be broken, someone might do it.
Yeah.
But I don't see it.
Not anytime. Not
happening.
this season for sure.
Yeah, like Gill
I
had
say
a
that.
crazy season and he still got to like 800 something runs.
Yeah.
Like just imagine. Yeah.
Why stop KKR from those consistent performances? Is it simply team synergy issue or is it something else? Hey, Sudarshan.
Another Sudarshan.
Yeah, no, this is.
What's stopping KKR from consistent performances? I think earlier it was an issue with their finishing where Rinku was just not getting runs.
True.
So middle and lower middle, that was one thing. And a couple of their bowlers, as I spoke about, Harshit Rana and Spencer Johnson, have been very hot and cold, which has meant that they've lost games in like percentages. They've lost plays more than losing games as a whole. So that's the only thing.
Yeah, true. Yeah, with KKR, it's very interesting. I was just thinking about it. We'll take a couple more questions and end this. We have 44 minutes in, 3 weeks into the IPL. A lot of interesting content coming up.
Yeah.
We have an interesting video coming up tomorrow, actually, talking about if, or not if, like who is going to be India's next Julian Goswami. It's Monday. We have women's cricket coming up. And a lot of things coming up, by the way, in women's cricket. For those of you guys not following, try following. We have the Try series that's starting end of this month because this is a whole lead up to the
the-
England series, actually. So we are going to England also. And then to the World Cup. There's a World Cup this year, guys. Rishikesh.
If you're not going to watch women's cricket, it's fine. We will be covering a lot of it, so
Yeah.
you guys can just watch us.
No one is talking about Andrew Russell not being able to slog the ball like he used to do before.
Literally just spoke about how Andrew Russell struggled with finishing.
Yeah.
But yeah, it could just be with Russell. I don't know if it's a fitness thing or an age thing or it's just a him being out of form, because you'll write him off and then he just comes into one of those innings.
It's not the first season.
Yeah, he's been doing it consistently, so I'm not going to say much about Russell.
Hey, actually, I'm looking forward to the tri-series. Good on you, my lad. Good on you. Why do most teams have an issue with the pitch curators like KKR and LSG, for instance? I think it's a relationship thing. Like CSK, for example, I would assume have a good relationship with the curators because of the captain and everyone. And like RCB, I don't know about RCB. I mean, I'm like Wankhede with Mumbai. I'm assuming they again have a good relationship.
They would. I mean, they're with the Ambanis and but yeah.
What is the difference between Hardik as the captain of GT and MI as his decision making as a captain being the same? That is a very, very good question. I feel like there are a couple of things. Hardik as the Gujarat Titans captain was always fed in with Ashish Nehra being in the boundary line.
Spot
And
on.
I'm not saying that's the only reason, but he had someone constantly talking to him. And that happens even now with Ashish Nehra and Shubman Gill. And it might help Shubman Gill, it might not help. But it definitely helped Hardik Pandya, the captain, because he's also talked about this in press conferences and interviews. He's talked about how active Ashish Nehra is. In the Mumbai camp, however, Hardik Pandya is there. Of course, Suryakumar Yadav's there. But Hardik Pandya doesn't have that someone constantly chatting to him. And I don't know how much that helps him. This is all just a speculation, nothing factual. But Hardik Pandya, the Mumbai captain, really hasn't done wrong, if you think about it. Especially in this season, he hasn't done much wrong. It's just the people who need to step up in those moments hasn't. And he's literally done everything. Highest wicket taker for the Mumbai Indians, one of the highest scorers for the Mumbai, not the highest score, he scored only 81 runs actually.
But good form.
He's been in situations where he's tried to win Mumbai Indians the game because the top order really hasn't done much. So he's done everything he possibly could. It's just now the players that need to step up. We'll take last two questions. Sam is Chad. It's bad the opponent sneeze and it will go for a 6. I don't know. Guys, maybe sometime you can make a video why 973 is so hard to break. Maybe someday.
Maybe.
Oh, right. RCB's home ground was an actual issue or just bad luck? That's the question.
Interesting. So it's a couple of things, right? Traditionally, the Chinnaswamy has aided fast bowlers when it starts out. The first few overs, you get a little bit of seam movement and all of that. But overall, it's a good batting pitch. Whereas with the games that RCB have lost, either they've not been able to explode or the pitch has actually changed where they've struggled to score because they've been getting scores of like 160 at RCB at Chinnaswamy. And so, honestly, I think it's a little too early to say because they've only played 2 games there as to what the condition of the pitch is, if it's a pitch thing or if it's just the team and their luck and them not clicking on that day. So, too early to answer that.
Who's the coach again?
Flower.
Andy Flower did talk about how they were surprised with how the Chinnaswamy played. Don't give me that excuse. If you're going to give an excuse of how you're surprised by a home ground being played, excuse me. Right, there are 2 matches today. Some people want us to predict. I'm going to get away and not predict, be the diplomat that I am. But RR versus RCB is the first game, the 3 o'clock, 3:30 start.
Happening at Savai Mansingh.
Correct. What's your prediction?
I honestly think RCB might win this game simply because Savai Mansingh's a good batting place. RR have had their issues with the bat. RCB has been in solid batting form. Other thing is, this is Rajasthan's first game at Savai Mansingh.
True that.
There's added home pressure. They possibly might not know how the pitch is going to play because there's been a fair amount of remap and all of that. So
the excuse of the pitches will kill me. And then the last game, the Sunday night blockbuster. The not losing or the only winning Delhi Capitals team versus the Mumbai Indians.
Delhi Capitals. No questions asked.
Interesting. Delhi Capitals straight away, and that's the prediction. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like the stream if you guys haven't already. Let us know what you enjoy about the stream and what you don't, because we always want to improve. If there's something we could do a lot more, let us know. Yeah, thank you so much for watching. We put out videos 3 times a week, Mondays, Tuesdays, and Fridays. Every week we'll be rolling out content. We put out reels and shorts every single day. So follow us on Instagram, follow us on our WhatsApp channel if you haven't already.
Yeah.
And yeah, a lot of things to look forward to.
Hmm.
Thank you so much. Oh, we are also closing in on 25,000 subscribers.
Oh, yeah.
Quarter of
100,000.
Yeah, which is unreal to think about.
True.
Like 25,000 subscribers is unreal to us. But yeah, if you guys help us reach that, if you reach
will be great.
If we reach
Yeah.
fast, it will be nice. But yeah, thank you guys. Add more segments. Anikesh.
Bruh, okay. We'll think
Wow.
about it.
I feel like you'll be the only one saying add more segments. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Appreciate it a lot. See you guys next week on a Sunday morning. Peace.